planet Earth that can do things that others can't because they've got this thing that's more talented. He's one of them. So that's the three areas you're going to just see an upgrade in that offense.
Look, he's been a really good player on a really bad team for a very long time. Now he gets the opportunity. I'm actually excited to see what he's able to do with it. Meanwhile, one of the big questions that it presents is, what does all this mean for Deshaun? Because this is a quarterback carousel that just continues turning. And over the weekend, Deshaun Watson, in the most 2021 move of all time, removed Houston Texans references from his social media pages. That is his new Twitter bio there. You can see there's no mention of the Texans anywhere on it. He did this one day after the new coach in Houston, David Culley, said he doesn't see Watson going anywhere.
He is a Houston Texan, and I want him to be a Houston Texan. And the reason I'm in this position today is because I knew he's going to be a Houston Texan. And so that the outside stuff that was being said was irrelevant to me.
We have zero interest in trading the player. We have a great plan, a great vision for him and for this team and his role on our team. And we look forward to the opportunity to spend more time with him here this spring.
So that's what they said. Let me go to Adam Schefter first, because they had their news conference on Friday, the coach and the GM, and they said very definitively, we're not trading Deshaun Watson. So, Shefty, now what?
Now the standoff continues, Greeny. Essentially, both sides appear dug in. And I thought that the Houston Texans sounded the right tone on everything except when Nick Caserio called him the player. That works in New England. There's an issue here in Houston. And when you call Deshaun Watson the player, I think that's not something that he takes too kindly. I can tell you that other players in the organization noticed that. And that's something that stood out to people from that conversation. Other than that, their tone was right. The word choice there was wrong. And so Deshaun Watson is not going to be speaking with anyone from the Houston Texans. He has no plans to report to the Houston Texans. And the Houston Texans have no plans to trade him. We've seen this play out in any number of ways with any number of other players over a period of time. So the question is, who blinks first in this game of chicken? And we could continue to analyze that and try to figure that out.
So, well, let me just ask you one more question, though, Shefty. When should we expect that blinking to take place? The Texans publicly dug in. We're not trading him. We wouldn't expect them to say anything other than that publicly. But you're talking to people behind the scenes. Should we be expecting something like this soon?
Well, Greeny, look, there's no hard and fast deadline here at all. But I do think that there are artificial deadlines. The first artificial deadline would be free agency, the start of the new league year, March 17th. If the Texans decide that they want to go trade for another quarterback when training can begin before Sam Darnold is traded somewhere, or Carson Wentz were traded somewhere, or a free agent like Cam Newton or Tyrod Taylor, or you come up with a free agent signed somewhere, that would be one date. The second artificial deadline, in my mind, would be the draft. Because if you want to go get one of these quarterbacks in the draft, you'd have to make a move with Deshaun Watson to go get the quarterback that you want. And if free agency in the new league year come and go without a trade, and if the draft come and go without a trade, I think the next deadline would then be training camp. And then the fines start accumulating. And then it would be the start of the season. And so there's no one spot that you could look at and say, here is when we can look for Deshaun Watson activity. We knew Matthew Stafford was going to be traded very quickly because there were people that wanted clarity, and he and the Lions both had agreed to go their separate ways. There's no agreement between the Houston Texans and Deshaun Watson right now. They have different ideas about how they want to handle this.
All right, so then Mike Tannenbaum, that's the perfect way to set it up. Mike Tannenbaum, now you're the general manager, and you have come to the conclusion, as much as you don't want to, that you were going to have to trade him. Does your leverage increase or decrease with each passing day?
Every minute you lose leverage, you want to get the deal done ASAP. You just lost the Rams as a potential suitor. So if I'm Nick Caserio, what I'm trying to do, once I've reconciled that we're trading Deshaun Watson, I'm trying to leverage two teams against one another. And the perfect setup is the AFC East, because let's take your Jets, Greeny. Joe Douglas has done a really good job. 2-1s this year, 2-1s next year. If I'm Joe Douglas, the worst case scenario is not getting Deshaun Watson. The worst case scenario is, let's say he goes to Miami, and I'm not saying he's going to Miami, But just that very thought would give me an ulcer of epic proportion, because now you're sitting there and you got Josh Allen twice a year, you got Deshaun Watson twice a year. You won't win the division for the next 10 years. So if I'm Joe Douglas and I get Nick Caserio on the phone, I am getting the deal done right now. That gives Caserio maximum leverage. And I don't care if it costs me an extra one or Quinn Williams, because I could go find those guys. Deshaun Watson is a once-in-a-decade player. He's too good, too talented, too high character. If I'm the Jets, I go get him, I pay the bill, and I move on.
Well, Darnellowski, what are you doing? Why are you making that aggrieved motion?
Thank you. Finally, someone making some sense in regards to this. Like, finally, someone realizing how remarkable Deshaun Watson is. And I love the phrasing by Mike T when he said, I can go find other guys. There's just not a lot of people. I can't say it enough. There's not a lot of people on the planet. 3, 4 of them, maybe. I mean, we're talking about a guy that automatically, for the next 12 years, you will have a chance in every single football game because you have Deshaun Watson. Like I said on Friday, give away 4 or 5 first-round picks if you're the Giants, and everyone's like, well, it's too much. Did you guys just watch what happened this past weekend? Deshaun Watson is not playing for the Texans again. And respectfully, Coach Culley, I hope you are the best coach ever. You need to get your mind right, or at least preparing it for the fact that he's not going to play there. And I understand we don't have any interest in trading the player. Well, guess what? I know there's a lot of parents at home right now, my wife being one of them, that had no interest in being a stay-at-home teacher. But here we are, because things happen and life happens. He's not playing there. And I don't understand why it's so hard for a team to sit there and go, my goodness, I got a guy that I know can be MVP of the NFL. I'm going to go get him. I'll think about what's next.
Let me get Ryan in here. Ryan, what did you think of the fact that he took them off of his social media?
Hey, listen, that is the most 2021 way to get ghosted. That's the most 2021 way to get left. And I mean, the Houston Texans are a MTV TV series, right? Like, the people like the Houston Texans are why you can still get catfished in 2021 when you can FaceTime, you can Zoom, and you can do all these things. Dude ain't returning your texts. Right? Dude has removed you from his social media. I don't know what else you need to get other than him saying he wants to be traded, but he's not coming back. And what's crazy is you listen to Mike Tannenbaum, who's been a GM in this league, talk about how great of a player Deshaun Watson is, but how high character the person is. Yet Nick Caserio won't even acknowledge that he's a person. He's just a player. This dude is continuing to keep up with the things that the Houston Texans has been doing to Deshaun Watson and other players. He's just another part of it. That's why Cal McNair went away from what the firm said and hired this dude, because he acts like they've always acted in that organization. So Deshaun Watson is gone. Wrap your head around it. Coach Culley, I'm glad after 27 years in this league, being a position coach and doing other things, you got to be the coach of the Houston Texans. Take that guaranteed money, get rid of Deshaun Watson, because he ain't coming back, and have a great retirement, because y'all ain't gonna win there. It's a wrap. It's over. Deshaun Watson will be playing somewhere else in 2021.
And to Mike Tannenbaum's point, the sooner they do it, the better. Shefty, you look like you had one more thing. Finish it up.
Yeah, well, a few more things. First of all, we've seen this play out before. There are other people who are saying, oh, the Texans have Deshaun Watson here. And I would disagree. I think that's underestimating the character and history of Deshaun Watson. Here's somebody who's come from nothing, who doesn't care. care essentially about making more money this year. I mean, I know we all care, but there's going to be plenty of money. He's already made more money than he's ever had before. I don't think he's going to budge on this. And I remember the Chicago Bears monitoring the events with Khalil Mack. The